Hi, sweet friend. Okay, sweet friend. So let's start talking about the actual disruption process within disrupting your thought patterns. One of the very first things that you can do for yourself is begin to ask your own brain questions for change. So, if you are noticing a pattern of thoughts or a repetitive thought that you no longer want in your mind, you can start by asking yourself, what would I rather be thinking instead? And because your unconscious mind is such a problem solver, fun fact, your unconscious mind literally loves problem solving so much. It's one of the things that it's best at, and it's one of the jobs that it most enjoys doing for you. And so when you can use this act of questioning to get your brain into a realm of problem solving instead of a realm of repeating a thought that you no longer desire, then you're really using your brain to work for you instead of some ways seeming like it's working against you. It's not working against you, I promise. We'll talk more about the unconscious mind and its prime directives. It really only does want to make you happy. And right now, because of some deep stuff that we'll also be diving into later, it thinks that these thoughts and these patterns that it keeps feeding to you, it thinks that you desire those. And so it's really trying to do its job for you. And so because it loves doing jobs for you, give it a different job to do. So that's step 1 of disrupting your thought patterns is giving it questions for change, giving it questions for problem solving. Asking those questions like, what would I rather be thinking instead? Because then your brain will start to think them. And then it automatically gives you a way out of the thought spiral that you may be in. Another question that you can ask your own mind is, how can I change this from disempowering to something that feels good instead? And again, that is a problem solving question. It's tasking your unconscious mind with solving a problem for you, which is, how can I change this from disempowering to something that feels good instead? What that also does is that begins a pattern of telling your unconscious mind with your conscious mind that you think that thought is disempowering. Okay. And through a bunch of repetition, you labeling your own thoughts as disempowering is eventually going to tell your unconscious mind that that thought is not a thought that it should think for you anymore. That that thought is not something that it should pop into your brain. And you will notice those thoughts receding. Now, the beauty of you being in this brave heart, open mind, self coaching method is that you don't necessarily have to rely on that repetition. We are going to get super cozy with your unconscious mind using neuro linguistic programming, which means that we will get to bypass that repetitive factor. And we will start talking in later modules about how you can alter your thought patterns in ways that are way faster for your unconscious mind. And in the meantime, I recognize that like this whole self-coaching experience for yourself can't just be like me with a fire hose like spraying you with all of the things that I know. So, we'll start consciously and then we will work our way into those unconscious factors. So, as you are interacting with your thoughts now, begin to ask it those questions for change that activates that problem solving for you. So, what would I rather think instead? And how can I change this from disempowering to something that feels good instead? and your unconscious mind will go right to work problem solving for you because it freaking loves problem solving. And that is just step one. We are going to get into a deep dive on how powerful questions, that act of asking yourself questions, can help you to self coach yourself from where you are now to wherever you want to be. Literally, powerful questioning is such a foundational component of self coaching because it's essentially a way that you can interview your intuition, that you can interview your soul self, that you can find out exactly what feels aligned for you, exactly what helps you feel in flow, like you are living your life on your path to existential happiness. And all you have to do is ask yourself questions. And then later on, I'm giving you the neurolinguistic programming techniques and other tools to help you get to that point, to make those choices that get you to that existential happiness and those feelings of empowerment. So, in the next video, we are going to take a deeper dive into powerful questioning, and I am so excited for it. So, I will meet you over there. And in the meantime, I'm sending you so much freaking love.